Welcome back to Ask the Attorney. I'm Amy Rao Mohan here along with Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm in Clarksville. And we've already got the phone lines lit up. We will take more calls too, 737 plus 737-7587. Got Ray here. Hi, Ray.
Hello, how you doing?
Great. Good to see you. Go ahead, Ray. What's the question?
My question is, how expensive is it to get a will?
Okay, well, that's a good question. You know, different lawyers set different prices, and so many times for a simple will, you could get one for as little as $150. And you're saying, well, what is a simple will? That's where a husband says, I'm going to die and leave everything to my wife. If she and I died simultaneously, then we leave everything to our 3 children. And then, of course, it goes up from there. Sometimes people have estates. Right now, I'm debating a lot about trust because there's a whole lot of law on trust, living trust, revocable trust, irrevocable trust. Let me address this. You know, one of the things, I had a lawyer that came to me that had been into wealth management. And one of the first, I said, what'd you learn? And she said, I learned that the richest and the smartest people always have the best lawyers and the best accountants. That settled in with me. Mm-hmm. And so again, I was at a big firm last week, tax, and of course the tax bill was like $300,000. Well, they could have easily paid the lawyer $20,000, $30,000, and still came way out ahead. So, you know, you get what you pay for, and but I am a big proponent on that. I'm big on insurance. I don't sell insurance, nobody in my family, but I want you to have it. I want you to have it. And that will, please go do it. Yeah. Your family will love you more.
You may be able to do it for free through legal aid. Or
that's true, too.
If you're a veteran, I think they've got some
But
clinics.
whatever the cost, you pursue it and you get it done. And call the lawyer and say, how much will you charge? And you'll know before you even go in.
Yep. All right, we've got Dorothy here. Hi, Dorothy.
Hi, how you doing?
Great.
I'm talking to an outstanding lawyer.
You're sweet. Thank you for the compliment.
Him advice. I've been upset over this letter I got from my IRS today.
Okay.
Back some time ago, I had a tragedy to happen to me at my home, and FEMA helped me out with it, and then they wanted 28%. They wanted the full amount, 28%. I went and got the money and paid it off, and I'm getting another letter today from my IRS for the same thing, and I overpaid them because they had took one payment before I could get the money up to pay them. They had garnished my Social Security and took one payment out. So how will I go about doing this? I've got a copy of the cashier's check and everything. I wrote a letter to the president today of IRS along with the cashier's check.
Excellent. Well, here's the big lesson is get your documentation. In dealing with the IRS, which I've dealt with them over the years many times for different clients, the first thing they say, what documentation do you have? You could say, well, you know, I did this and they did that. That's fine. You can put that in an affidavit form. And one of the things that I thought was so skilled of these CPAs, top-notch CPAs, top-notch lawyers, they know how to write a sentence. I hope you're listening. They can write a sentence that they can never be boxed in on. Because if you said too much, they use it against you. If you say too little, it's open for interpretation. So that's why you need experienced people. Help you with the wording. Here's the law. The law is one section of it. The facts are the other. The law is the law. We have to explain the facts away in such a way that would be beneficial to our client.
And with dealing with something like the IRS, it may be helpful to get a lawyer if,
absolutely.
If that's
you know, that kind of money, yes, you go talk to somebody, you'll come out ahead.
All right, we've got Marie here. Hi, Marie.
Hi.
How can we help you?
Yes, my question is, if I had a detainer warrant served on a party to vacate the premises, and they move everything out of the house and they leave few items still in the house, and they leave before the court date.
Yes.
To sit. Do I, as the homeowner, have the right to go in and remove those items and change my locks out of my house?
Okay, here we go. There's a lot, you know, they talk in the law about self-help. There's a lot of gray areas. You know, the law says you got to give them 30 days notice and they're gone. Well, I'm encouraging you to look at the lease. Everybody should have a lease. I've rented property for 40 years. Commercial buildings, me and you might even make a deal, and I shake your hand. They say, Kevin, you were so and I said, well, I trusted Amy. So if the statute of frauds in Tennessee requires a writing, you ought to put that clause in there that if they cut the electricity off, if the place is abandoned, you have the right for re-entry. There could be a clause in there that would really benefit you under those circumstances. And again, we go out there, the electricity's turned off. Sometimes they'll leave a pet in there. You have to call the animal control, get the pet out, and take control over it. A lot of gray areas. Every one of these situations needs to have some legal advice to help you. I like to protect yourself the very best, but some days you need a little self-help too.
All right, got Edward here. Hi, Edward.
Hello.
How can we help you this evening?
All right, my question is, if you're legally married to your spouse, and if you're legally married and your spouse passes away, or your spouse, you get a divorce,
Yep.
are you legally responsible for the bills that was made?
Okay.
As far as health bills, or as far as maybe credit card bills,
Here
or
we go.
any kind of bills that was made during the marriage?
I got you.
Good question.
You know, in Tennessee, you're responsible for a spouse's reasonable and necessary expenses. So, meaning this, if your wife did not have the ability to have medical care, there is a statute that would say, hey, you were married to her, that you could be held responsible. As a general rule, they make you sign something, and most people take their spouse to the hospital, and they say, who's responsible? And everybody's in a rush, and they're worried about a heart attack, and they sign off. Well, you've contracted in with them. Now, the credit cards, let's talk a little bit about that. The credit cards, usually when you get one, it's for both parties, and you sign that credit card, you use it sometimes you don't. Well, that is what's going to control even in the divorce. I'd say Amy and I are married, we got divorced, and the credit cards, we had them, she's run them up, and Amy says, I'm going to pay for them. Well, guess what? Amy doesn't pay. A year later, they sue me. And I said, well, my final decree says Amy's supposed to do this and hold me harmless. That credit card company is going to sue me. It's going to require me to sue Amy, hold her in contempt of court because she didn't honor the court order. And of course, Amy may file bankruptcy, and I still have to pay those things. So everybody that comes and says, we want to do our own divorce by ourselves, no. Don't do that. And because if it would Amy and I'd say, Amy, you go get some new cards, transfer that balance off of Kevin Kennedy, and you're responsible. And when I got away, it was a clean break.
All right, good advice there. Got Jim here. Hi, Jim.
Yes, I want to ask him if it's what it is. My wife passed away, and then I have my deed to my house, and it has on it, it says my name, her name, and at the end of it, it says heirs assigned forever. I wanted to know if that was good enough in case something happened to me.
Okay. Well, here's usually those deeds, if they're in husband and wife, it's tenants by the entirety. And what that means for a husband and wife, if the wife dies, the house automatically, by operation of law, goes to the husband. If the husband dies, automatically it goes to the wife. Now, we can be tenants in common and specifically put that, and that means if I die, my half goes to my estate. And so we probably have to look at a little more language on that, and then it's open to interpretation. I'll bet you somewhere in there it says tenants by the entirety, and that home when she passed away is yours by operational law.
That right of survivorship. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back with Kevin Kennedy after this.